everyone. Today I will be interviewing a band from the Midwest. Please introduce yourselves.
Go ahead, Nick.
We are Decrescent.
It's a pleasure to have you. So, for my first question, what inspired the Crescent's shift from technical death metal to black metal?
Um, well, I originally wasn't part of the band until about 2022 after they made the shift into black metal. But Nick and I have been really close friends since like the high school days. And I know that even at the very beginning of Decrescent, he definitely wanted to get into the black metal side of things. He with Blackened Bequest and everything, there is like that blackened element to it. Um, But I think me pestering him repeatedly back around 2018 and such with like bands, Der Wegener Freiheit, Dark Funeral, Atlas, stuff like that. I think I kind of got him a little more excited about playing stuff like that than technical death metal. That's just my opinion, but
Yeah, I don't know. It just the shift, I guess, kind of happened. I feel like naturally. Um, I didn't really have anything else left to say, in that style of music, and I was no longer inspired by any of that kind of stuff. Um, I just wanted to explore more different atmospheres and have the songs tell a story.
yeah, there's a lot more feeling in black metal than there is in tech death. Um, I mean, tech death's great to play and everything, and it's fun and exciting to listen to, but after a while, it just like you don't really get the same emotions that you get out of black metal. And
Yeah,
I just feel like, black metal in general is just kind of more of an emotional experience rather than just watching somebody rip up the frets, you know.
I agree with that. So then what themes are explored in Lost in the Zephyr?
uh,
Kind of a little bit of everything, honestly.
yeah. I mean, there's a bit of fantasy stuff. Uh, I'm and always will be very heavily inspired by Trevor Sternad. Um,
Papa
so a lot
Trev.
of yeah, so a lot of his stuff kind of seeps into my influences, and but there's personal struggle and depression and those kind of things too. So
Yeah, just a little bit of everything, basically.
I like that. It keeps it interesting. It's not the same thing. There's always something new to expect.
Yeah.
right.
Yes. And how was your sound evolved since Blackened Bequest?
I mean, aside from the style shift, uh, I still feel like it feels like the same band, even if it is a different genre of music. I mean, I would like to think so, but um, yeah, I think that's probably just the biggest thing is just the genre and different kinds of you know guitar work and that sort of thing. I guess vocally it's a little bit different too. A lot less of the lower grunt style stuff and more of the high pitched black metal type screaming.
Were you going to say something else as well, or do I continue to my next question?
No, you can go to the next
No,
one.
yeah,
I never know for them when I'm about. There's like a moment of like a pause, so then I'm like, okay, I'll ask, and then they start like saying something, so I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
I want to interrupt.
No,
Okay,
you're good.
thank you. What's your songwriting process like?
Oh, that's mostly Nick. Nick writes the vast majority of Decrescent stuff. Um, but usually he'll send stuff my way through Tabit. We usually use Tabit, which is kind of like Guitar Pro. Um, he'll send that my way. I'll listen to it. I might make some suggestions or something like that, or kind of like bounce some ideas back and forth. But most of the time Nick is the one doing 99% of the songwriting processes. Especially with this last EP, it was basically a whole bunch of stuff that he had already written, that was just kind of sitting on the back burner. And he wasn't really sure if he wanted to kind of bring it out, and like go full bore into an EP with it. But I kind of convinced him to do that. Figured
Yeah.
we might as well give it a shot and everything. And a lot of the songs, just from listening to the instrumentals from the skeletons that we had before with the songs, you can definitely feel like the vibe that we wanted to go to. Like Frail Flesh had a really sad and like kind of depressive feel to it. And so we kind of just stuck with that on that song and went in that direction. Whereas like Damon's Eye was kind of more of a like a dark brooding kind of like an Ackless style song, and you know it's about sleep paralysis and everything, and so like we kind of stuck with like the overall theme with the song matched kind of the first initial vibes that we got when we started kind of working on the songs as a whole.
Wow, that's a lot though.
Yeah.
But at least he had that, and you guys, you guys made it into something.
Yeah, I mean it took a while, but you know,
Yeah.
Yeah,
it,
it's a whole process, but I mean, you guys made it.
yeah, for sure.
For my next question, how would you describe the Midwest?
Bleak. There's not a lot out here outside
Yeah.
of the Chicago, Milwaukee area. The music scene back in like 2010, it was popping. Like everybody knew Decrescent, bands like Macabre or A Night at the Chalet. Those were like the big name bands that like everybody knew around here. And it seemed like after that initial phase of everybody wanting to play tech death and deathcore and stuff, it kind of fizzled out a little bit. So now it's just I don't really know, to be honest, too many like bigger name black metal bands that are in the Midwest these
Yeah. I
days.
don't know
And
any.
I was gonna say I don't know if it's just my lack of being involved with the scene for an extended period of time, or if there's just not too many. I mean, I can name a couple out of Chicago, but as far as like local bands and stuff are concerned, you don't really hear a whole lot coming out of the Midwest. So it's kind of a little bit bleak around here these days.
Wow. It's different because I'm like, besides you have interviewed other bands and they've lived like in certain areas. So you have
Mhm.
mentioned similar stuff that it's not well known or not as many bands as it would be like, I don't know, like California or like other
Oh
states,
yeah,
no? Or
yeah,
like in Norway, stuff like that. But that's interesting though.
yeah.
But don't give up though. Don't give up.
No, no.
Just keep at it.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
And why have you stayed independent since 2010?
Uh, that's probably more of just having issues with trying to keep members. We've just had bad luck with drummers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely drummers. I think the way that we've been kind of up and down as far as like staying active kind of plays a role in it too. Obviously, like we've had a lot of life events happen. Nick and I have both ended up getting married and buying houses and stuff. I have two kids, so it's like, you know, we kind of go at our own pace with things. That's why it was, you know, what, 7 years from the last EP until this one. But yeah, mostly the members have been just a giant pain in the ass. Drummers, for whatever reason, come and go
Yeah.
like the wind, and it's crazy. And but yeah, it's a little disheartening when you lose a member, and it's like you're trying to stay active, you want to play shows, you want to do festivals, and then it's like, you know, on top of all the life events happening and stuff, it's just it kind of just stops your motivation for a while. But
Yep.
we've both kind of been pushing each other to continue and keep going, and hopefully this with our current setup with our current members and everything, we'll be able to get back into the scene a little bit more, and then it'll just kind of come more naturally from there. um but yeah, we didn't feel like getting stuck with a label or something like that and having them just basically sit there and wait for us to do anything when we're kind of going through all these things. Just figured that wouldn't really be a good idea. Um, and I know Nick does a lot of he does all the recording and everything himself, mixing and mastering and everything like that. And I know he takes really good pride in that. So just kind of being able to have that independence is always nice. And we don't really feel like the pressure to get a label or anything like that. So I think that's just kind of where we're at.
Makes sense. Better to go at your own pace, especially if you've had drummers that are, not responsible or they're just,
Horrible.
and then yeah, horrible, I guess. And then you have to
Yeah.
make them wait. So yeah, it's better to go at your own pace, I would say. And also adulting does suck.
Yes, it
Yeah,
does.
it does.
Have work, bills, kids, all that. So yeah, I totally understand that you have to go at your own pace. But
Yeah.
slowly but surely take it one day at a time. That's what I always
Hmm.
say, take it one day at a time.
Yep, definitely.
Okay, so for my next question, what non-musical influences shape your work? It,
Um, I mean, for me, I wrote the lyrics for two of the songs off of this EP, and I just kind of went off the feel of it. Um, but for one of the songs, it's literally about like Lovecraftian horrors from, space. And so I'm a big nerd, so I like Edgar Allan Poe, I love H.P. Lovecraft, Tolkien, all sorts of things like that. So for me, it's just kind of that fantasy element while also staying kind of in the black metal horror genre. Yeah, as far as musical non-musical influences, yeah, just stuff like, you know, Edgar Allan Poe, H.P. Lovecraft, horror, that kind of stuff.
and for yourself, if you have any?
Um, so I wrote two of the songs. I wrote the lyrics for Damon's Eye and Meadows. Damon's Eye is about sleep paralysis. I've never experienced anything like that, but I was just fascinated with,
It's scary.
everything. Yeah, I was
Yeah,
just
it's
fascinated by it.
terrifying.
And so that's what that song's about. And then Meadows is more of a fantasy kind of thing, um, with some personal stuff, kind of sprinkled in there. But
I
yeah.
like that though. It's different. It makes a difference and unique.
For
Mm.
sure.
Okay. What can fans expect from a Decrescent live show?
Uh, Assuming we can keep a drummer around for longer than
Yeah.
6 month period. I think just the passion and the energy.
Yeah.
I think we've been kind of just chomping at the bit to play some shows, and I haven't played a live show with Decrescent, but I've been around since the beginning. I was their merch guy for the longest time, so like I've seen how Decrescent plays shows, and it's always just it's just a really good time. Every time I've seen them play, everybody in the crowd's like, "Oh my God, these guys are sick!" And I definitely, at least for me, and I know some of the newer guys also have that same drive to want to put on a show and have a very impactful uh, set.
Was that
Yeah.
it for your response? Just wanna
Yeah,
stop you to say something.
yeah, no, I agree.
But that's cool though. I like that. It's always exciting, to get to play your music and express it in a crowd, and then there's like listening ears everywhere. During
Yeah,
Mhm.
music.
yeah.
So for my second to last question, what's been your biggest challenge as a band besides the drummers?
Honestly, in my opinion, consistency.
Yeah,
Um,
staying motivated.
between dropping Blackened Bequest, and then there was a like about a 2 year period before Sorrow My Home dropped, and that was just in a 2 year period, swapping genres, coming out with a whole new EP and everything. That was pretty expected, I would say, in terms of like trying to come out and come up with four new songs in a totally different genre, and then recording them and then putting that out. But between that and the beginning, I mean, there was a long period of time before Blackened Bequest where Nick had a bunch of songs written, but never anything solid. And then finally put it together, put out Blackened Bequest, and then swap genres. And then between Sorrow My Home and Lost in the Zephyr, there's an extended period of time, obviously, where life stuff was happening. Um, but definitely the consistency. Just putting out a product that we're satisfied with obviously is going to take some time, and that's kind of been our biggest challenge. Because I know Nick, like I said, he's the one that records everything. He's the one that's mixing and mastering. He is very anal retentive when it comes to
Yeah, I'm a perfectionist.
yeah, making sure everything is perfect and spot on. So there's been I mean, our EP has been done for quite a while, but it took a while to get it to where we were all completely satisfied and ready to release it. But I feel like now, hopefully with these members and everything, that challenge of kind of consistency shouldn't be as much of an issue because we can kind of start working on the next thing and not have to worry about now we're stopping what we're doing to try to find a member. Hopefully they can play what we write because a lot of times I've been contacted by random drummers and they're like, "Oh yeah, I'd love to try out for your band." And I'm like, "Cool, send me a video." And then I don't hear from them again. And I'm like, "You picked up
Yeah.
the drumsticks and you tried to play it and you can't play a song that's 200 plus BPM." I get that, but uh yeah, hopefully with all of this kind of under the belt now, we can just start gathering a little more momentum and staying more consistent with everything.
I hope so too. It sounds like a lot of work though, like all that process. That sounds
Yeah.
hectic. And then
Yeah.
sometimes you have to take a break because you got to deal with like real life stuff. So that sounds like a lot of work, but you guys managed to do it though. And then I
Yeah, for sure.
understand about the whole perfectionist stuff. So you'll know once you get to where you want it to be, like it's
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, so then for my final question, what's next for Decrescent?
More music. We do have some few songs in the works already. Um, Other than that, just trying to fine tune the set with the current members and hopefully play some shows, if not by the end of the year, then early next year.
That's exciting. And then
Yep.
and then your the members that you have now, are they like new that you just recently got or have they been?
Yeah, Alex, the current drummer, he was in the band before, actually, years ago, and didn't work out. But life stuff happened, and wants to give it another go. And then we're still kind of in the works of another guitar player now. Tristan is no longer in the band, so we've been trying to find somebody else. But yeah,
I wish you guys the best of luck. Especially
thank
since
you.
I've been the
Thank you.
Midwest and you say that there's like not much. So it's very hard to find like people that play instruments, right? Well,
Hmm.
like
Yeah.
me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was it for our interview. I was gonna say my, but it's ours.